Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. This is the February Fragrance Awards where I share with you what I wore during the month of February, or at least a sampling of the fragrances that I wore in that month, and put them into categories just for fun. We'll start off with the category of favorite blind buy. Although I bought this last year, it still is a blind buy, and it is Simone Andreoli Malibu Party in the Bay. I got interested in this fragrance when I was on Fragrantica and saw that it was considered to be very similar to Creed's Virgin Island Water, which I have a travel spray of. I really like that one, but was intrigued by this. And then my friend here on YouTube, Marcy at Marcelina Teresa, purchased this and just raved and raved about it and got me super duper interested in it. I purchased it and I see what she means. This is like sunshine, happiness, and summer in a bottle. Yes, it is very similar to Creed's Virgin Island Water. This one I think lasts longer and is stronger on the like booziness in here. There's lime, coconut, rum, there's some sugar in here. So there's sweetness and tartness from the citrus at the same time, which is really interesting. The smoothness from the coconut and a little booziness from a rum note in here. I enjoy this so much. It literally makes me happy. It's very uplifting when I put it on, and it reminds me so much of living your best life in the summer. If you've ever been out on a catamaran or a boat or a yacht, whatever. How many of us travel on yachts? I've been on some, but not often. But let's imagine that we do, okay? For the sake of the video. This is a fragrance that I would be wearing with my bathing suit and my sun hat and my big glamorous sunglasses. In the category of best bottle, this is just about the bottle design, but this actually happens to be a really fabulous fragrance. I'm still getting to know it, but I really have enjoyed it so far. Did a full day wear and have spritzed it on here and there because I enjoy sniffing it. It is from Orientica and it is Fleur de Orientica. It does come in a really nice coffret also. I have the black bottle of this, which is Cure de Orientica, a leather-based fragrance. I really, really like this. It's relatively new. It has, to me, a lot of florals, a touch of greenness. It's a light, happy fragrance. Again, a little bit like the first fragrance in that it's very uplifting. The difference being that this one is mostly a floral fragrance. I detect a little bit of fruit in here and some greenness too. Yeah, this is going to be one of those fragrances that I enjoy grabbing in the spring. I find it a very elegant and lovely fragrance. And then in the category of worst bottle design, I really don't hate this bottle design, but it is perhaps the least attractive, the least elegant among the fragrances that I wore this month. Actually, that's not true. I probably am not doing this bottle justice because I did wear a number of Dua fragrances this month, and those bottles I really do not like, but I'm going to stick with this for now. And it is from Pendora Scents. This is Tobacco Vanille. I don't dislike this bottle. I actually like it, but some people may consider it to be a little bit gaudy maybe, or tacky. It has a plastic cap on it. And I think what bothers people is that it has this like goldish kind of plate on it. It says Charuto, and there's an image of Che Guevara on there. And, you know, I've just never understood why that's on there or what that has to do with the fragrance. It's Tobacco Vanille, so the only association that I can make is tobacco, Cuba, Che Guevara. This has been known to fall off this plate. I haven't had that problem yet. The fragrance in here, though, is a really nice dupe for Tom Ford's Tobacco Vanille, which I like a lot. And this is a great affordable fragrance in the like $30 to $40-ish range, and you get this massive bottle and it lasts pretty decently too. So there you go. For the category of sexiest fragrance, I have 3. I know I've been cheating a lot lately with these videos, but let me explain. I can explain what's going on. So what happens is that I put on a fragrance in the morning. Sometimes I put one on in the afternoon if the fragrance morning has, you know, gone away, faded, and then sometimes I'll put one on at night, and on occasion before I shower in the morning I'll try something else. So there's all kinds of fragrance getting spritzed all day long. So I'm sorry, what can I say? But there were a lot of good ones, and this is a good thing. Anye Debut by Night. I stumbled upon this on fragrance nets looking for bargain deals. I love a good bargain. Can you resist a good bargain? I mean, I can sometimes, but sometimes I get sucked in and I have to add it to cart. So this is one that was added to cart, and you can see that I'm down to here because I've been spraying it a lot. This is really good. This is rose and patchouli and a woodiness. I think it's cedar or cedar wood in here. This fragrance has a lot of like mystery to it. It's like, it says by night, and I can so see this being a very sexy nighttime fragrance. Husband loves this. He immediately fell in love when I came down the stairs with the fragrance and with me, of course. But this helps. This helps. So this is a good one. And the second one for this category, and let me tell you, I'm thinking about doing a video called like YouTube's Forgotten Loves or something, because this is one of those. And we should bring these babies out. They're so beautiful. It's Signorina Misteriosa from Salvatore Ferragamo. I love this. It's creamy. It's tuberose. I think there's an orange blossom and some berries at the top, if I remember correctly, and some vanilla. So it's sweet and it's cozy and it's warm and it's inviting and it's enveloping. And I feel very sexy when I put this on. And I love this little bottle. Look at that with the little ribbons on the side. So super cute. Don't forget about these beauties, you guys. Go reach in the back of your shelves and pull these back out. And the third one, newer to my collection, but not to my heart because I fell in love with it a while back, is Flowerbomb Nectar with the gunpowder note at the top. I have to be honest and say, I don't know that I detect like specifically gunpowder. I've been to gun ranges. I have shot guns and rifles and everything before, and I don't know that I get a whole lot of what people smell, but maybe like a faint hint of it. To me, this is just sweet, womanly goodness. I'm noticing that a number of fragrances that I really love have a strong note of black currant, which is this sweet, syrupy, berry kind of smell. This has that in there. It has jasmine and other florals in the middle, osmanthus, which gives me like this cloudy, I say cloudy, but I mean cloud-like apricot sort of scent. And then there's vanilla and tonka bean in the base, which makes this just one of the sweetest bombs of a fragrance ever. You see what I did there? Flowerbomb Nectar bomb. The next category is the best everyday fragrance, or that one that you can just throw on and go to work, go to the grocery store, go to pick up the kids, whatever it may be. And it is another one of YouTube's Forgotten Loves, and now one that shows up on people's basic and trashy and all kinds of crazy lists like that. Hello, what are we doing, folks? what is that all about? It's Idole from Lancome. I do have a complaint about this, to be fair, and it is the bottle is, I mean, like, what in the world was Lancome thinking? I have to sandwich this in between other fragrances because I'm scared that it will fall. If it just had a little bit of a wider base, I would consider this bottle to be a little bit more elegant. To me, it looks like a really tall person with a itty bitty tiny Q-tip head here. There's a beautiful pear note here at the top. It's mostly a rose fragrance with some patchouli and vanilla and a lot of notes in the base that I cannot pronounce, but it's just a pretty fragrance. That's it. You put this on, you smell rosy, a slightly bit fruity, and clean and pretty. Period. You know, best every day. The next category is the best gift, or something that you can present to someone and they are likely to like it and it presents well. So the one I have is a bit controversial in that some people don't care for this at all, but I think by and large it is widely loved on YouTube and also outside of YouTube, which is important. Because once you start listening to all these fragrance videos and purchasing fragrances, expanding your collection, and expanding your range of olfactory interests, we forget that the rest of the world isn't interested in all that. They just want to smell something nice, something pleasant. They don't need for something to smell like a daydream. They don't need for something to smell like the Himalayas. They don't need for something to smell like the Marianas Trench out in the Pacific Ocean. They don't need for something to smell like a squirrel's nest. They just want you to smell nice. So all of this like creative, artistic perfumery is not of interest to the general world. Sorry for the little rant. Let's get back to the best gift, and it is La Belle. Look how beautiful this is. It almost went into the best bottle category, but we've all seen her before. I almost dropped her on me. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to talk bad about you, but she's got the little booty on her and this little collar here of florals. So what I like about this fragrance is that it is very sweet, but it develops quite nicely on the skin and becomes a little bit more almost like almondy while it's on the skin, like it has a nutty accord to it. There's vanilla in here, there's pear, and there's some other floral notes. There's a musk and vetiver. This is one of those fragrances that's sweet, but it's got a lot of character, so it sets it apart from some of the more sort of generic sweet smelling fragrances on the market, but it's not so out there that it's not giftable. So, and how pretty is this, the way that it presents? Next up is best for the season. So it's February here in Virginia. We have had, it's weird when we get into February and March because you get some really cold days and some really spring-like days, and they go back and forth. You think spring is coming, and next thing you know, a snowstorm hits, and then a day later it's 70 degrees again. So it's all over the place. But for the sake of it being winter generally in the United States, I'm going with Bronze Tonka as best for the season from the Carolina Herrera Confidentials line. This could have easily been best bottle and best gift because it is so like Hollywood glam with this ombre effect. But let me stick to why this is best for the season. It is a very heavy fragrance. I consider this to be fairly beast mode. It lasts the majority of the day, not the entire day, like into the late night, but it takes me into dinner time. It is coffee and oud, and it has this little bit of like a greenness deep in the background, but I get leather, coffee, oud in here, and a little bit of sandalwood. So it's a thick fragrance. I consider this to be just really heavy, beautiful, glamorous. A few sprays will do you. A wonderful nighttime fragrance. I did, of course, wear this during the day because, you know, we're talking about me. I wore it during the day, and I don't overspray this. I do a few sprays here and maybe one like on my knees or something, and then I'm out, okay? Because it projects and will fill up a room quickly. And it is just beautiful. Bronze Tonka. The next category is a special occasion fragrance. Bronze Tonka could have easily gone in that category, as well as some of the other ones that I have previously mentioned. But there's no denying of the fragrances that I wore in February, I have to go with one of my all-time favorites, and that is Narciso in the White Cube. This is just a glorious fragrance to me, one of my personal most womanly fragrances. I have a whole video dedicated to that. I think it's called Date Night, because I know that people look that up. But in that video, I also say that these are then the most womanly fragrances. And so I didn't feature this, but it's kind of bundled at the back end of that video with a category of fragrances that are the tried and true. So the color of this gives away some of what this smells like. It is a very, very heavily musky fragrance. If you do not like musk, you'll hate this and want to run for the hills. If you don't like gardenia, you will hate this. There's some woodiness in here, but by and large, this is a musky gardenia fragrance or a gardenia-ish musk fragrance. Depending on the weather and depending on how it plays on your skin, one or the other of those features will pop out more. It has some rose in there as well, but definitely gardenia, musk with some wraparound woodiness. It's a very sort of fluffy fragrance to me, and it's a powerhouse of a fragrance. A few sprays of this will take you the entire day. It's a little bit headache inducing if you go anything past that, so just spray lightly. But this is a glorious, beautiful, beautiful, command the room kind of fragrance. Then for my biggest surprise is Nishane 100 Silent Ways. Some people say Nishane. I just don't know how to say it, so I will say it both ways in videos. Nishane today, Nishane tomorrow. But 100 Silent Ways. And the reason that this is the biggest surprise, my friend here, Chris at the Perfume Nest, sent me a decant of this, and I liked it, but it seemed like it faded on me. I was like, this is pretty, but it felt like it went away so quickly. And I recently revisited that same decant that she sent and fell in love again in a different way. This is why it's so important to give fragrances a chance. Try it different times. I mean, sometimes you smell something and you just absolutely cannot stand it right away. But for those other fragrances that you're like, okay, that's all right. You know, I don't know if I need a full bottle. I'm not trying to convince you to go out there and like feel like you need to get full bottles of everything. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is before you judge a fragrance, so long as you have a sample or a decant, revisit that on different days in different conditions. So I sampled this late at night, was getting ready to go to sleep, and it just seemed like it faded and was nice, but like, what's the big deal? And tried it again later on and really understood it a lot more. This is, to me, mostly a vanilla fragrance sprinkled with these really pretty, very girly florals. Very, very lightly, right? But it's heavily like a vanilla fragrance. If I didn't know any better, I would say that this has something else in here that makes it even sweeter, maybe a powdery aspect or some tonka bean that combines to give this a really soft base, if that makes sense, with the vanilla on top and the florals over that. But the vanilla is the star of the show here, and I find it just a very girly, pretty fragrance. You put it on and you feel delicate and light, like I should be wearing something pink and pretty. In the category of not a safe blind buy, I have two. Yeah, I've just been doing really bad with choosing just one for these categories. One is Lattafa's Oud for Glory, which is a dupe for clearly Oud for Greatness from Initio, and then Sarah Jessica Parker's Stash. I really like both of these. I probably love this one, really like this one. But anyway, Oud for Glory. I have smelled Oud for Greatness and it's very close, not a complete dupe. The Oud for Greatness is a lot sort of smoother around the edges. This is a little bit scratchier, if you want to use that word, but not in a bad way. I still like this, but it's definitely oud and it has saffron in it. Saffron is one of those notes that over time can smell a little bit like, I don't know, like sweaty skin on you, depending on the weather and other conditions. So that can happen with this one sometimes. And there's an aromatic accord in here that I think is lavender, if I'm not mistaken. So there's a little bit of that. Very masculine scent. Very affordable, gorgeous bottle, not as long lasting as I would like. This I think went through like mid-afternoon, which isn't bad, that's fine by me, but a really oudy fragrance. So if you're not into ouds and if you're not into saffron, not for you. And then with Stash, this is what I call a boyfriend fragrance, but it has these peculiar edges. There's grapefruit, there's pistachio, I think there's a sage note, there's definitely incense in here, and it is just, it's odd and it's different. It smells like incense and it smells like your boyfriend's shirt after he's been outside chopping some wood or something, and also had some cologne on and also had some really great smelling deodorant all mixed together. So he's not quite stinky yet, but he brought the outside smell in with him, and maybe there was a little bit of incense nearby that kind of stuck to the shirt. Really interesting, different fragrance, and could be off-putting if you're not expecting it. So not safe blind buys, but I like them both. Love. Now we get to the top 3 of the month. Some of the ones that I've mentioned could easily be in the top 3 and should be. But for the sake of presenting different fragrances, I will start with a newer love that I am probably going to need a backup bottle of soon because I'm going down quickly on this one. It is Bulgari Tubereuse Mystique in this beautiful blue bottle. I'm already like almost, can't show you the other fragrances yet. Down in here. So I need to go on and get a full size 100 ml bottle of this. This is a 1.7 ounce and I'm already down like almost halfway here because I keep using this beautiful tuberose, creamy, vanilla, tonka bean loveliness. Okay. Loveliness. This is like a cocoon of sweetness and warmth and fluffiness and tuberose. And I can't get enough. So then I also love Alexandria Fragrances Gourmand's Kiss, and I think I may have featured this in a previous month, but that's how much I love this that I'm starting to use it up. This one here is the dupe for Fave Delicieuse, and it's better than that. I've smelled Fave Delicieuse. I have a decant of it that I've kept on hand, and while I like that one, I like this better. There's something in Fave Delicious that smells a little bit like cherry-ish. This has less of that and more of like the sweetness and the slight like kitchen spicy thing. Like, I don't know what's in here, but I really like this and think it is a delightful dupe for Fave Delicious. And then I really, really love Dua's dark chocolate rum and vanilla. I hate the Dua bottles. Maybe hate is a strong word. I just think they could have done better. This is like the cheapest packaging with a cute sticker on it. But anyway, I digress. This fragrance is a dupe for Guerlain's Gourmand Coquine, and I think it's better than that one. I have sampled that one too, and it's nice, but it doesn't last long. This is a deeper, like thicker, I love the word viscous, as you know, more viscous chocolate fragrance with some booziness and a lot of sweetness from the vanilla, and I smell like a snack. I hate that term, but I use it. I smell like a snack when I put this on. Yep, when I eat my arm. I come next to my average 3 or meh 3 category. So listen, don't be surprised by the ones, at least one that's in here. I don't think the other 2 will surprise you. I'll start with one that people probably don't know a lot about, and I haven't talked about this in a long time on my channel, but it's Mon Boudoir by Vivienne Westwood. This crown on here is so cute. This is a very lightly musky, soft floral fragrance. It's like a bedtime fragrance, Mon Boudoir. For me, and I've worn it at night, or I would wear this in an office setting or any other kind of setting where you don't want to project loudly. It's a pretty fragrance. The only reason it's in this middle category is because it is light. It does not project far. It's a very close to the body skin scent. It is pleasant. That's all. So the next one won't shock anyone, and for the reasons why. And it's the Scent Private Accord from Hugo Boss that I have worn to bed several times. I don't wear this during the day because there's no point. It just fades so fast. It's this chocolatey, slightly citrusy, like orange fragrance that's sweet and pretty. It's very nice when it first goes on, like that initial blast is beautiful, and then it just fades down into this really subtle skin scent and then disappears. Poof. So if you'd like to carry this in your purse and continue to reapply, great. I just don't want to, I work from home. I don't want to have to come back upstairs 10 times a day to respray this. But it is pretty. And then this one may surprise people. I do like this. It is Good Girl Gone Bad by Kilian. This is a really pretty, what I consider to be like an orange and marshmallow scent fragrance. It's very soft and cloud-like. It's like cotton balls to me. Cotton balls soaked in orange and or like a light orange, almost like an orange dreamsicle kind of flavor with marshmallows in it. But the problem is that I do think this fades quickly. I wish that it stayed longer and stronger on my skin. It's about a half a day-ish fragrance, and then I have to reapply. That's all. That's the reason that it is in the meh or middle category. In the category of the bottom 3 fragrances for the month, I had some real bomb outs this month, 2 of which I will talk about in a minute. This one that I'm going to mention here, it's Christina Aguilera Red Sin. There's apple and cinnamon in here, which is what I love. I think it's cinnamon or spice like that, but apple at the top, which is nice. My problem with this is it doesn't last very long or have much presence. And so I have other fragrances that give me what this fragrance is supposed to. So I think that I will gift this maybe to someone else. So yeah, this one is a bottom 3. But the 2 that I really want to tell you about that were failures. One I've talked about a while back, and it's Dua's Blondie. It is a dupe for Tom Ford's Violet Blonde. I've never smelled Tom Ford's Violet Blonde. I wish. That would give me a nice point of comparison. That one is supposed to have jasmine and violet and orris and sounded delightful. Dua's Blondie, I don't even know how to describe it to you. It was, I tried. I really tried. It smelled like a hot mess on me. It smelled just like a disaster. It smelled stale. It smelled odd. It smelled like a musty wood. Yeah. So, yeah. And then my biggest disappointment of the month, and I posted this on a reel on Instagram. If you're not following me over there, I'd love for you to join me there. It's Veronica Says All. Veronica Says All, one word on Instagram. But the fragrance I'm referring to is Nest Golden Nectar. This posted on the Sephora website. I happened to be shopping for makeup and thought, yeah, sure, I'll add to cart. I enjoy not all, but a number of Nest fragrances and really love their bottles. I got this home, you all. It's supposed to be orchid and vanilla and musk, and I forget another note in there. And sprayed on and just thought, this smells like stale, dried out Play-Doh. Play-Doh. Did you ever make Play-Doh as a kid? I used to make Play-Doh and I enjoyed making it, but I would also leave it out on the table and it would dry up and just smell dusty and weird. It smelled like that, just wrong. Yeah, I did not enjoy this fragrance at all. It didn't last even for the time that I had it on me, despite it smelling like dried out Play-Doh. So it was a no for me. So yeah, this one did not work out for me and it went right back for return. I couldn't deal with it. The bottle's beautiful though, and maybe it will work for you. And if it does, let me know. I'd be interested in hearing. So I hope you enjoyed my February fragrance show. Would love to hear any thoughts you have about the fragrances that I talked about or any others you want to share with me. And I will see you in March. Take care, my friends.